Hello and welcome to Otterwood Cottage, where we're building our dream smallholding in the heart of the Lincolnshire countryside. I'm Emma and we're delighted to have you along with us. Okay, we are on Saturday. I am going away tomorrow for the week, not back till Friday, and so today is the last day of my half-term challenge. Have I got 8 out of 8? No, I haven't. Have I got 7 out of 8? Almost. I'm going to give myself 7 out of 8. I'm not quite there on everything I said I'd do, but close enough. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back and say 7 out of 8 ain't bad. So let's catch you up on what's been done and bring you along as I plant up some of my cover crops. So one of the first things I said I'd do of the 8 jobs is to be harvesting as we go, and you've seen over the videos across the week that that's happened. So all of the beans have been harvested from along here, and I'm in the process of shelling those in front of the television in the evening. They're not as dry as they need to be, so I'm just laying them out flat on plates in the kitchen, which is warm because the Arga has gone back on. It's a very exciting moment. So the kitchen's really warm and they will dry out in the warmth of the kitchen. So that's 1 out of 8. The second job I said I would do this week is to clear the beds and get the winter sowings done. So you saw that I'd cleared out the polytunnel. The winter sowings in there you've already seen. And then if I turn you around here, this really is the only bed that needed any clearing at the moment. So I'll turn you around fully and just explain briefly what I mean. So that bed there not only is still full of beautiful flowers that I'm not going to remove for the sake of it, but also is one of the 2 chaos beds. And so I'm not planning to cut anything back from there until it's all gone to seed, reseeded itself, and then I will cut back anything that's properly died back. But that probably isn't going to be until we get some much harder frosts. This bed here, these 2 courgettes can come out. We've got some celery here, which we're not eating because we don't particularly like, but as I keep hinting at, we have some new arrivals coming this afternoon. So I'm going to leave that standing in the ground because that will be quite a nice additional kind of supplement to their food. So we're going to keep that celery just in the ground and use it. The salads we're still using. A couple are starting to go to seed. I've just picked some for our dinner tonight from these that aren't, and the ones that have gone to seed, again, I'm not taking them out until we're ready to feed them to either the guinea pigs, the chickens, or the new arrivals. This is beetroot, which can stay in the ground, and these are our leeks, which obviously stay in the ground. This bed here, onions staying in the ground, carrots staying in the ground, but what I have done is cleared all of the remaining bush beans, and so this area here, planted up to that electric fence post, is the remainder of the garlic that didn't go inside the polytunnel. And so what I'm left with is this end of the bed, which is quite a large area, which I am about to sow with my cover crops of broad beans and field beans. This bed here, I'm still really hoping that we might get some of the ground cherries there. I've had 1 or 2 of them and they're so delicious. It's absolutely laden, but it's just not ripe. So, and there's flowers there. And then we've got the asparagus, which I'm taking out as I see it die back and go brown. So that one I've just spotted needs to go, but I'm not taking them out until they go brown. So the beds are cleared, and once I've planted these broad beans and field beans, which I'll do with you in a moment, all of the winter planting is done. I have got some carrots I might direct sow in the polytunnel and other bits and pieces, but they are might do's, not definitely will do's. I'm really sorry if the wind is picking up. It's really warm, as you can see. I'm in a t-shirt, but the wind every now and again picks up and you might just be picking that up. So the third job I said I would do is collect some manure, and you saw on yesterday's video that that's been completed, although I collected 9 bags of manure, and as I'm about to show you, that really doesn't go very far. So this was job number 4, which was to get some beds planted, and this is the job where I've kind of given it to myself, even though I had hoped to get a whole row of bed planted. And you'll see, if I just switch you over to time lapse now, I was a bit over ambitious with how far I thought my 9 bags of manure would go, because they've actually only gone that far. So I'd packed up the manure in these paper bags, which are the feed bags that our neighbours use for their horses and which they also wanted rid of. So we're doing them a bit of a double favour, and at the same time we win, because the bags are acting as extra cover. They're paper bags, and we're getting the manure, and we're clearing their land and their bags of rubbish for them. The manure, we had an absolute unexpected deluge of rain last night. It was so heavy. It's actually, the ground can't accept it. So if I just take you over to the polytunnel, look how squelchy that is, just from one night of rain. So of course, the manure being outside in paper bags meant that I desperately needed to get that job done straight away, because they were busy disintegrating over by the gym. So there were a couple of near fatal accidents as I was carrying them from there to here, and they were disintegrating in my hands. But the manure is really wet and really heavy, and so it's been very difficult to spread out, and I haven't worried about that too much. What I'm going to do is just leave it there to weather. I'm not even going to plant into it. I'm just going to leave it there. It can weather down, and over time we will collect more manure and extend that bed out. It can weather down all winter, and we'll be ready to plant into it in the spring. If it starts to get very weedy, if we do have a warm winter and it starts to get weedy, we can always cover it back over with that black plastic that's just folded back next to it. So that's the plan over there. I had also talked about planting a bed, let me get my bearings, over there by the chicken area. I've rethought that. So the reason I was going to plant that is we've bought some plants which are going to be fodder for our animals. So we've got new arrivals coming today. We're hoping for other new arrivals in the spring, and I wanted to be planting some of their food so that we can supplement what we're feeding them with things we're growing in the plot. And I was planning to do that over there, but I've since watched Jo's video at Muddy Puddles Farm, and her pigs love rooting up the grass, and then she plants behind them. So rather than cover the grass up planting it for future pigs, I'm going to leave it as grass, let them root it up, and then plant behind them. And instead we've got tons of space here that we're not going to fill realistically with stuff for the house, so we can plant fodder for the animals there, and get that out to them. Where are we up to? Let me get my list and take you into the polytunnel out of this wind. Right, quick recap. Seed saving and harvests done. You've watched us doing that over the week. Seed order and sort, I haven't mentioned that, but you saw me do that earlier in the week. Done, and the seeds have arrived already, so that's very exciting. Collect manure, done. Ongoing job, but I have done some of it. Build new beds, half sort of done, but I'm giving it to myself. Winter planting done. Massive job that I forgot to mention, finishing the tree inventory. Obviously I've just wiped that from my memory because it was a very sad day, but it is a job off the list. So 7 out of 8. The one I missed is starting on the compost bays, which I was a bit iffy, if I'm honest, about. I didn't think I'd get to that, but it was a bit of an aspirational target. I'm not going to be too hard on myself for not managing to get to that one. We've got the wood available. When we have got a bit of time, we can get on with that. So we'll get to those when time allows. Probably now, realistically, as we head towards the Christmas holidays from school. I've got a really busy few weeks coming up between now and the end of term. So it'll be weekend, back to full-on weekend warrior, not so much being able to be done during the week, partly because of busyness and partly because obviously the light is just not there. So I think that's been a successful week. I'm proud of me. I hope you're proud of me. Thanks for coming along for the ride. And I am going to catch you with a second video either tonight or tomorrow morning, depending on what time and your arrivals come. Just a quick one to introduce you, so look out for that. I'll see you really soon.